John chapter 7, verses 1 through 9 says this: After this, Jesus traveled around Galilee. He wanted to stay out of Judea, where the Jewish leaders were plotting his death. But as soon as it was time for the Jewish feast of shelters, or feast of booths, and his brothers said to him, "Let us leave here and go to Judea, where your followers can see your miracles. You can't become famous if you hide like this, for if you can do such wonderful things, why don't you show yourself to the world?" For even his brothers did not believe in him. Jesus replied, "Now is not the right time for me to go, but you can go anytime. The world can't hate you, but it does hate me because I accuse it of doing evil. You go on. I'm not going to this festival because my time has not yet come." After saying these things, Jesus remained in Galilee. What's happening here is we're seeing the family feud. Jesus' own brothers, his own family, did not receive him. They were mocking him. They were, number one, they didn't believe in him, it says. And number two, they were being mean to him. They were saying in a sarcastic way, "Why don't you go to this feast where everyone's going to be at so that people can finally believe in you?" And Jesus said, "The world can't hate you." So he kind of came back at them and said, "Look, people, you can go at any time because you're not being persecuted like me, because I'm standing up for truth. I'm standing up and I'm preaching against sin, but you guys just want to be well-liked." Jesus said, "I'm not going up to this festival because my time has not yet come," which is interesting. When Jesus said this also in John chapter 2, remember the story at the water into wine? His mother asked him to do a miracle, and Jesus responded. He said, "Woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour has not yet come." And here he says, "My time has not yet come," meaning it's not the appointed time for him to die on the cross yet. He knows that that's coming soon, but this is not the time for that to happen. Remember, in verse 1, it says that he wanted to stay out of Judea because the Jewish leaders were plotting his death. At this point in the time of the book of John, at this point in the story, as Jesus is doing miracles, the Jews started to get more and more mad at him. Remember, as we talked about in John 5, how they were so mad at him because he called God his Father, making himself equal with God. So there was a lot of tension. So later we find out, we're going to see in the next video, he does end up going to the Feast of Booths, and we're going to see what he says as he's there.